is up, awesome people, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi Wednesday shenanigans! Alright, tonight, we're doing something new. We're going to be changing the scenery a little bit and playing in Japanese because I've been contemplating this for so long and I finally decided to act on it. So what I did was I traded some Pokemon over from my English version and placed them on my Japanese version to take on the Japanese Battlespot. And believe me, it is quite fun doing this when your Japanese knowledge is only about 10% of what it should be. So yeah, I did struggle with a lot of things considering I didn't know what exactly was going on. I just most times had to take a guess and hope for the very best. Anyways, the team I'm using for tonight is kind of what I promised I would do. Quite some time ago, I was like, you know, near the end of Sun and Moon, I would be using a somewhat decent team for VGC17 and see how I'd go with them. But the twist would be I would try and use something a little bit unique with them. So the team for this I chose was Porygon 2, Akuzikin, which is Guzzlord in Japanese, Takaguya, which is Celesteela, which was not seen in this battle, Tapu Ria, which is Tapu Fini in Japanese, again not seen in this battle, Gigi Long, aka Drampa, and Numelgon, which is Gudra. So, I guess it's kind of like, I could have gone with Celesteela with this particular battle, but I'm kind of glad I did in hindsight. But, without spoiling too much more, I'm going to go into the battle, because there is a lot of shenanigans that actually took place in this battle, and at the same time, this was one of the better battles that I had in Japanese as well. All the rest of them was kind of average, I guess, as I said, considering I had to take a lot of guesses, since I had to take a second guess on a lot of the kanji that I saw. But anyways, gonna lead with my Gudra and my Porygon 2 here. They're gonna lead with the Rotom Oven and the Alolan Persian. So Alolan Persian is kind of predictable what it's gonna do here, but to which Pokemon was the question. So it's gonna go for the Fake Out. Luckily it hits the Gudra, which I was kind of really afraid of was actually going for the Porygon 2 to counter the Trick Room there, but that didn't happen, which is great. So Hidden Power Ice most likely coming off the Rotom Oven form. Life Orb residual damage as well, which is kind of good, which means it is gonna slowly kill itself. Plus the fact that it does not have any recovery outside of Pain Split, so I'm really hoping it doesn't have Pain Split. Trick Room goes up as well, and the Porygon 2 going straight for the Thunderbolt on here as well to try and take out that Alolan Persian, because Alolan Persian is a real pain in the rear side with Taunt, Fake Out, Foul Play, Parting Shot as well, which we'll most likely see in this battle. Do get the poison off as well in the Sludge Bomb with the Gudra, which is great, so Alolan Persian is slowly going to go down with the residual poison damage. Volt Switch goes off the Rotom Oven form, which allows it to swap out and go into the Tapu Fini of their own, which is, you know, that's great. I'm not relying too much on status here, so Mistmaker ability kicks in, which is Misty Surge in English. So that's going to prevent all status effects on all grounded Pokemon. If they're flying Pokemon, then I still can status them to all my heart's content. Anyways, Parting Shot there from the Alolan Persian, which is going to drop the Gudra's attack and special attack there. Kind of saw that coming. They're going to swap into a Mawile there, so Intimidate's going to kick in as well. So that's going to give my Gudra a -2 in attack. Not like it really matters, because Gudra is going to be Assault Vest special attacker. And my Porygon 2 is actually a special attacker as well. So here comes Mega Evolution off of the Mega Mawile, going from Intimidate ability into that scary, scary, scary huge power ability. So that's going to be most likely using Sucker Punch, Play Rough, could be using things like Ice Fang as well, or it can just be using Protect as well. So there's the Play Rough. There was no way in this wide world I was going to be surviving that, because I was max health, max special attack with my Gudra, with some in special defense as well. All EV spreads as well are going to be at the end of the video as well if you want to see them. So Tapu Fini going for the Moonblast onto the Porygon 2. That's going to try and drop my special attack, which I do believe it didn't do. So I've got no choice, but I've got to send in my Guzzlord here. I'm going to try and do some massive damage with the Guzzlord. Plus I actually really wanted to use the Guzzlord, because no one appreciates Guzzlord in VGC. So going for the Protect here, because I think the Trick Room may have run out as well. No, it didn't. I was just trying to stop the Play Rough here and just trying to spread some damage out, and just hoping to try and scout out what they're doing. So the Mawile went for the Play Rough there. That failed due to the Protect. So from here I'm going to go for the Heavy Slam. That's the very best I've got to do at this point. I really just wanted to do damage to the Mawile. Unfortunately I wasn't carrying anything there like Earthquake to really hit that for super effective. Plus I would have missed the Rotom due to its Levitate ability. Play Rough there. There's no way in this wide world I was going to live that. So Guzzlord was max health, max attack with Brave Nature. I think it was like 8 IVs and speed or something like that. I can't remember how many IVs I caught it with, but regardless of how many IVs I caught it with, would it be 0, 8, or even something like 20, it still would have had very minimal speed. Anyways, the Rotom went for Overheat there, which would have dropped its special attack. Going into my GG Long here, which is, by the way, one of my favourite Japanese names. Going for the Protect there, because I would have sure by now, if I'd been counting properly, I would have been out of Trick Room turns. Going for the Overheat with a Rotom, I managed to just hang in there with 7 HP, which is awesome. Life Orb finally takes the Rotom down to its orange range. The Mawile went for Play Rough once again on the Drampa, but because I protected, that's going to miss. Trick Room finally goes back onto the field, giving me more control on this battle. And the Misty Surge does end there as well, so it means I'm back to be able to status things. Mawile's going to swap out there, fearing something like a Fire Blast from the Drampa, which is why they go into the Tapu Fini to try and resist that. Plus, at the same time, they can put the Misty Terrain back onto the field to stop any status. I don't know why, because I'm running no status on this team. Rotom is going to swap out as well, go straight back into the Alolan Persian, I'm assuming, to try and get the Fake Out going there, but I did go for the Hyper Voice this turn. That is going to take out the Alolan Persian and take the Tapu Fini down into the red, so that Tapu Fini is about to go out. Plus, the next turn, if it does not have Protect, the Porygon can go for the Thunderbolt, because this turn went for the Protect, because I badly needed my HP back there as well. So if they don't use Protect next turn, I can just go Thunderbolt or the 100,000 volts, which is known in Japanese, to take out the Tapu Fini. Rotom Oven comes back into the game. I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice here. I'm going to take out the Tapu Fini there as well. Take out the Rotom Oven as well, and that means their only Pokemon in reserve is going to be Mawile. Mega Mawile to be precise. So if I lose Trick Room or if I'm outsped by any chance by that Mawile, this game goes to them. And by the way, these are my last 2 Pokemon as well. So this is down to the wires here. 2 against 1. I managed to outspeed that Mawile with the GG Long. Go for the Hyper Voice. That is going to do some massive damage there to Mawile. And I think the Porygon 2 should go next. Yes, it does. Going for the Thunderbolt. And that is goodbye Mega Mawile. And that is also game. And as I said, that was one hell of a fight and very fun as well. Because at the start I was like, oh, dear me, this ain't looking good. So basically, I clutched with GG Long, which is why I said Drampa is one of my favourite 7th Gen Pokemon. I've really come to like this Pokemon, and heck, even during the pre-release, just the first time I saw Drampa, it was one of my favourite Pokemon. Awesome ability, even as a physical attacker, you've got Sap Sipper as well to fall back on, and all those other awesome stuff. But yes, out of all the battles, that was the most enjoyable battle out of all of them, and that was pretty much it, I think I have to say, in regards to that particular battle. As I said, if you guys want to see more Japanese related battles, please let me know, and they'll give me something to consider in the future, whether it be for Ultra Sun and Moon, or even just before we go into Ultra Sun and Moon, I can even just do another few rounds with this team or something on the Japan 3DS. Otherwise, if not, I'll go back to doing English. I'm perfectly fine doing either way. It was just mainly for me to test to see how good my Japanese knowledge was going at this point. And as I said, it can be a lot better, but it's definitely a lot better than what I was when I first started doing the Japanese playthroughs right back in X and Y. Anyways, as I said, all the EV spreads, movesets, and everything in regards to the Pokemon will be shown at the end of the video. If you want to check them out and see what I was running on each of the Pokemon, feel free to do so. But until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!